Okay, so we have here a Solidity contract. This contract is supposed to make a request to an oracle. What it will do is basically hit this URL that has been given along with an ID. So the returned JSON response will have a format something of this sort. So the ID is added at the end. And what we are doing is we're taking this completed field from this JSON and then setting status from that completed field to 1 or 2 depending on the value of the bool, and then this emits an event. So now what we need to do is we need to bring online our Chainlink node. So this is VS Code, and this right here, the dot Chainlink Rinkeby is basically the folder which contains all our configurations in the env and .env file, and we will use docker compose here to bring up the Chainlink node. And the Chainlink node is up. It's running on localhost 6688. So we'll log into it first. We see. So these values have been preset in the Chainlink node configuration to abc@xyz.com and password, the most secure password in the world. We will be using Rinkeby here, Rinkeby Testnet, and the account has been furnished with enough ETH and LINK tokens. Firstly, because this node will require some ETH and LINK tokens to function, and this contract, even though the job doesn't require any fee by default, will still require some ETH, some LINK tokens to function. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Now this is specifically from 16 hours ago, as you can see. But what we will do here is that we will create a new job. So that we can show this whole demo. So this is how we are creating a new job. It contains an Oracle contract address. This has already been deployed on Rinkeby. Let me show it to you. So this, as you can see, has been already deployed on Rinkeby. This is the Oracle contract. Basically, this contract is used by the node to send out the request. What basically we need to do is that we need to include it here, and this job has a specific list of tasks where it will decode the incoming request and then sort of parse that request, fetch the URL. As you can see, that's a get request. The get request is, let's see, yeah, it's coming from the contract only. Then the response is passed, the data, the bool value is encoded into a transaction and then submitted. So we have this job created right here. Job ID is 2, and this is the external job ID, which we will put in here. And we will change the Oracle contract address as well. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, now we will need to let the Oracle contract know that this specific node can communicate with it. So for that we will need set fulfillment permission. Here we will give the node address and say true. This function is basically used to allow a specific Chainlink node to get in contact with the Oracle address to revoke the permission or to add the permission for that action. Okay. Connect to Web3 provider. Now, while that is being confirmed, let's compile this contract. It's been compiled. There we go. There we go. The transaction has been confirmed. Now what we are going to do is we are going to change from JavaScript VM to injected Web3 because we are using the Rinkeby network. And we are going to deploy not this one, but rather the API consumer contract. Before we deploy, let's recheck whether we have all the things considered or not. So the contract address, Oracle contract address is set here. Job ID is set here. The node contains ETH and link balance. There's a job as well. Let's hope so this works. Deploy. Confirm. And the transaction has been confirmed and this has been deployed, as you can see. But before we can actually use this contract, just as a safeguard, you might say, we need to furnish this contract with some link tokens. Generally, the norm is that whenever a contract is trying to make a request, it needs to have link tokens, which it can pay as fees to the node operator. And even though this job is not supposed to take any link as fees, we will furnish it nonetheless as a safeguard. Okay, for those of you who are wondering where I got this test ETH and link, that's from the Chainlink faucet. So the transaction has been confirmed. So this means this contract in Rinkeby has some test ether, test link. Let's see. Let's give 18 as the requested to do ID, and let's request a job. That transaction has been confirmed. Right now, let's see, the status is 0, right? That's because events are initialized to 0. Let's see whether do we have created just now, fetched. And there we go. You can see the status has been set to 2, indicating that completed was false. Let's head over to Rinkeby. events. So as you can see, when the contract requested the data, Chainlink request event was triggered. Then when the request was fulfilled, this specific event, Chainlink fulfilled event, was triggered. And this event is the one we have actually made to be emitted from here once the fulfillment is done and the status is set. So what you saw here was first bringing up a local Chainlink test node on Rinkeby. Then what we did was basically deploy this contract on Rinkeby Testnet. So this is the contract address and it can be accessed. And we tried to run a job through our Chainlink local node using a direct request type of a job, and here's the run for it. There we go. The job has been run and then suspended. Let me just verify this contract so that anyone who wishes to use it in future can. Let's see. Activate this one. Contract address is this. This is the contract address, right? Yeah. And the contract we are going to verify is API consumer. Contract has been successfully verified. Let's see. Let's give it a moment or two. This was the contract address, right? Yeah. And there we go. The contract has been verified. And if anyone wants, they can use this specific contract address to test out the contract. Of course, this would mean that this specific local Chainlink node that I have run needs to be online. However, if it's not online, no worries there as well. There is a specific contract that has been made available, and this has been hosted by a Chainlink node operator that is online most of the time. So this is from a remote one, and this is actually running this same job as I mentioned, this one. So if you want, you can use this contract as well to test out the functionality. Otherwise, you can use the contract that I have shown, provided that the node is still running at my end, this one. This concludes our demo on Chainlink node and Ethereum contract. Thank you.